Hi everyone, this is Vaishak here again, back with Sports Kati, and with me is Rohit.
Hi everyone.
So the new season of English Premier League is about to start. The league is scheduled for kick-off on the 12th of September, I suppose. And as part of popular request, we have, I think rather it's better to say demand. We are diving into FPL. And it is literally a mad world with some 8 million users in the Fantasy Premier League. And as someone who has played the Fantasy Bundesliga a bit, and fantasy games in other sports as well, like cricket, and during certain events like even the IPL or sort of fantasy Premier League is slightly more complicated because there are chips and there are cards that you have to use, and you need to know the strategy and when and where and how you have to use them, and so that makes it slightly bit more complicated. With a bit, it's something you have to really pick up while playing. So Rohit has been playing the Fantasy Premier League for a decade now. So in this session, I think he will be doing the explaining, the basics of the game. And this year we are also, having a private league uh, for everyone. I think people in Sports Kati can really follow that. Please register there. The details like how to enter it, there will be a code that will be asked, so the code and everything will be given in the description of our video. So just look at that and join us, and we can play in a private league. We can see who's leading and everything. And I think we're planning to have a small session as well regularly if there are lot of users in our private league and they have weekly questions on how to make the transfers and how to run forward. We can have a small session, or if not weekly, at least monthly or something. Anyway, Rohit, I give it to you. Can you explain the game?
Yes, thank you, Aisha. So yes, so I'll start from the very basics on how to register and what next. As many of my colleagues and friends who have never played the game were asking me about the game. So firstly, what you need to do is head on to fantasy.premierleague.com. The link will be shared in the website link will be shared in the description. So go there, register yourself. Please do ensure that when you're registering an email ID, that only one team is linked with one email ID, because as per the FPL rules, having multiple teams linked to one email ID leads to disqualification. So please ensure that only one team is linked to your email ID. So now, once you register yourself, you will see that you will be provided with 100 million to make a team of 15 players. Now there are certain criteria on how to make the team. So the basic criteria is that a squad, which is 15 players, should consist of 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. And this can be obviously seen from the template what they provide. So please do look into it and see that. Now, one more criteria which is not so obvious is that you can only have a maximum of 3 players from one Premier League team. So these are the 2 main criteria. So now once you have chosen your squad, then it's important to choose your starting 11. Now again, for starting 11, there are certain criteria. The main one is that you can have only one goalkeeper, obviously, and you should have a minimum of 3 defenders, a minimum of 2 midfielders, and at least 1 forward in your team. The rest of the team is up to you to try out, and you can make changes in the formation as you require. Now, in this starting 11 is for now, as I'm talking now, you can make unlimited changes until before 90 minutes before the kickoff of the first fixture. Okay, and that is September 12th. So you can make unlimited changes. So that's for now.
Nice. So any chance of knowing the lineup before finalizing is completely destroyed, because that was the only part that was left. In Fantasy Bundesliga, you can wait, till the end. You can see the lineup and then make the change. So what you're saying is that before the first fixture start, if it's 1, then you have only, you can know only the lineup for 1. But still, there was a chance. If one of the coaches make even before 60 minutes, he gets the lineup. You have a chance to know the lineup before you finalize your team. But right now, I think that is completely out of the window. So you can see the press conference, understand a bit. So the main tip is that you see the press conference, don't delay much. Get your team. That's the whole. The gist of what is happening right now. So let's get into the point system then.
So coming to the points, points are awarded to players for minutes played, goals, assists, clean sheets, and saves for goalkeepers. Okay. Now, the points for goals and clean sheets will vary based on the position of the player. That is, a striker will get 4 points for scoring a goal, whereas a midfielder will get 5 points, a defender will get 6 points for scoring a goal. Similarly, for clean sheets, a striker does not get any points for clean sheets. A midfielder will get 1 point, and defenders and goalkeepers will get 4 points for the team keeping a clean sheet. Now, there's also points for minutes played. So if a player plays a minute, then he'll get a point. And if he plays more than 60 minutes in a game, he'll get 2 points. And if you need to be eligible for clean sheets, you need to play a minimum of 60 minutes. So that's the other important criteria. So now, if in case your team, your player does not play a week, then your player first on the bench will automatically replace him. Now, again, it will depend on the criteria, whether you're meeting the minimum criteria for number of players in each position, which I explained earlier. But what I want to try to say here is that please do ensure that your bench is also ordered in the priority of or the importance of the players who you want to come in case your main 11, someone is not playing. So please keep that in mind. And one other thing which gives you points is you're supposed to choose a captain and a vice captain for every game week. Now, a captain scores doubled, and if selected, is double. And if selected, the captain does not play, then automatically the vice captain gets double the points. So if the captain plays, the vice captain does not have any added value. But if the captain does not play, the vice captain's points become double. So please ensure that you choose the right captain and the vice captain before the game week. So these are some few important tips while making your team.
Well, I think you have explained the point system perfectly. So, it's simple to understand as well. You get points for goals, you get points for assists and everything. But as you said, it's important to choose your captain wisely as well, and the vice captain and the bench thing that you explained. That's fine. You get the double points for the captain, so it could boost your points a lot. So it's very important whom you choose as a captain. Now let's get into the important part, like how to strategize for transfers. What are your options if you feel midway in the season that you need to make a lot of transfers to get more points, like your team is not doing it?
Okay. Okay, that's a very broad question. So anyways, I'll try to answer as much as possible. So again, as I mentioned earlier, so until deadline of the first game week, they're allowed to make unlimited changes. So go ahead and try out permutation competitions of your team, which you can have in the first week. We can make unlimited changes. So that's the whole idea. But once the first game week is first deadline for the first game week is over, then the managers are given only one free transfer for each game week. That is between each week of play, only one free transfer can be made. Now, any additional transfer will cost you -4 points per transfer. Now, if managers do not use a free transfer, then it will carry over to the next game week, and you will have 2 free transfers for the following week. However, you are unable to build more than 2 free transfers. So please note that. Anyways, while talking about transfers, I also want to mention about the prices. It's a key part or linked towards the transfers. Now, as you will be seeing in the website, each of these players have a price. So let me take an example. See, Mohamed Salah, okay, one of the highest scoring players over the last 3 years, and joined most highly valued player of this year. Okay, his price is at 12 million. So, say now after the first game week deadline, if a lot of players start transferring him into the team, then his price will start increasing. Price will start rising. So it's like a stock market. His price will start rising as people buy the player. And there is a mechanism on how many transfers required to increase the player price. I'm not going into details of that, as it is not very clear even for me. But then what I do is, there are websites which can help track the player prices. So I follow those websites, and I can share one of those reliable websites in the description. So please look into that. Anyways, importantly is that if the player increases in value, say Salah becomes 12.1, And if you do not have him in the team, then you will need to now pay 12.1 to get him in the team. So that is important. You will play more to get him in the team. This looks obvious, right? So if player price increase, you will pay more to get him. Now the catch is, if you have Salah already in your team and his price value increases 12.1, and if you try selling him, you will not get 12.1. You will only still get 12. Okay. So that means you and what that means is you will gain profit in selling only if it is increased by 0.2. That is, if Salah's price had become 12.2, then if you sell him, you will get 12.1. So you will get an increase in value for selling only if it is increased by 0.2. So that is something which is important to note, because again, this is one of those difficult concepts which is there while managing a team. So even the more experienced players like us struggle most of the time. But something which you have to keep an eye on, because it's important to, while making a transfer, to know that you are not sacrificing team value too much, because having high team value in the latter part of the season can help you have a better team or more valuable players in your team, and this will help you a lot during a second wildcard. So it's important to build your team value. Okay, now that I mentioned wildcard, let me just explain to you what wildcard also means. So there are 4 chips in the game. Just for understanding, there are 4 chips in the game, and the most important or the biggest of that is wildcard. So you have 2 wildcards for the entire season. One to be used before game week 20 and one to be used between game week 20 and 38. So what wildcard lets you do is, it lets you completely overhaul your team without forfeiting any points. So if you want to use a wildcard, you can completely reshuffle your team without sacrificing any points. So it's very important, and that is also important because in case if you want to make abundant changes in one go, a lot of changes in one go. So that's where wildcard comes in, and this is one of the important tips for planning or changing your strategies. Especially based on fixtures or form of the players, or if you feel your team has a lot of injuries, etc. So wildcard is a very important chip. Make use of it. Okay. So the next 3 chips I'm going to mention can be used only once a season. So the second chip is triple captain. So what this means is very obvious, as the name itself says. This chip can be used only once in a season, as I mentioned. If when you use it, you'll get triple points for your captain. So in normal, you get double points for your captain. When you use it, you get triple points for your captain. Very simple, straightforward. The next chip is bench boost. This chip also can be used only once in a year, and when you use this chip, the week you use it, you will get points from all the players in your bench also. So personally, I find this chip, some place where you can get big hauls in 1 week, because you get a lot of points not just from your 11 players but also from your additional 4 players. So if you think you have a strong bench, then this chip is a time to use it. The last chip is free hit. Now this one can also be used only once in a season, and this one is similar to wildcard, as in you can make unlimited changes to your team. But what is different from how this is different from wildcard is that once you use free hit, the next week, so the 1 week you can make unlimited changes, but the next week it'll revert back to your original team. So that's what the difference between a wildcard and a free hit is. Free hit can be used if you want to suddenly make changes for one particular week, and you feel that for one particular week the fixtures of one particular team is good, then you use free hit. It's not a long-term chip. Okay, so it's not wildcard. Please understand that. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, using these chips rightly can really boost points and your overall rankings. So I'm not going to explain the strategies for using the chips today, but as mentioned earlier, Vaishak mentioned, we will try to have a regular short podcast where I will mention about these chips and whether I feel it's right time to use any of these. Back to you, Vaishak.
Yeah, I mean, we can't explain the whole strategy. It takes time to how to use the chips, because it's really a bit complicated, and it's not easy to do that in a 20-minute or so. I don't know how long will this take, but such a broadcast. So let's have a quick dive into the proposed team, because that is something easier and we should be discussing. And if you have a proposed lineup, then also explain what would be the changes that you might make in it before finalizing, like who could possibly be dropped and who are the must-have that you will never drop?
Okay, sure. Let me just look at my current team because the team keeps changing every time I do it because we're still 10 days away from the kickoff. So as of today, I'm just looking at my team. So as of today, I have, I'll be sharing this team on screen. I hope you can see it while the presentation goes. So as of today, I have taken Robertson in my team as one of the main defenders. So one thing I want to explain is that, it's a must for now to have a Liverpool defender in your team. Because over the last 2 seasons, Liverpool defense has been extremely good. So it's must to have at least one Liverpool defender. I've seen teams where they go with 2 Liverpool defenders. It's understandable, but I'm saying at least one. And the best Liverpool defender for now is Alexander-Arnold, but he's currently carrying a small injury. So I don't know whether he'll be playing the first game week. He's missing out the international break. He's missing out the international matches. So I'll look out for him. If he is playing, he's my first choice for sure. But for now, I've taken Robertson in my team. The other defenders have gone slightly cheap because defenders generally tend to give you less return of points, and their lower price defenders are generally having a decent value for money. So I've gone with Justin and Vinagre in my starting 11. Now I just want to mention these two, Justin and Vinagre. Justin plays for Leicester City, and last season he was a good value for money, and at 4.5 million, he is a good value for money still. But as there's a small catch to it. I am just following the news now that Leicester City is on the brink of signing a right back for 25 million. So I'm very sure if that happens, then there's a possibility that Justin might not be the first choice defender. So if that is the case, Justin can play left back also, but I have to see what's happening there. So I'm looking at that. If in case I feel his position is not guaranteed, then I will not play him. But for now, Justin is in my team. Vinagre is another one. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing his name right, but yes. So he's from Wolves team. So I've gone for him because again, Wolves generally is a team which keeps a lot of clean sheets. So I've gone for him. Is a good. The team as such is a good value for money, and he plays as a wing back. So he will also pose threat for scoring and assisting also. So for me, this is the 3 defense for now. I want to mention one other player. I've mentioned 2 other defenders in my bench. That is Ayling and Johnson. Ayling is from Leeds. It's a newly promoted team. So I've gone for Ayling because I was looking at the data, looking at what they did in the championship, and I can find that Ayling has a lot of attacking returns, which is very important for a defender because people who play, defenders who can give attacking returns are value for your team value. And Leeds as a team has been solid last year. We don't know how they will be in the Premier League, but in Championship they were solid. So I expect them to keep some clean sheets. But I'm keeping in bench for now because first week they're playing Liverpool. So I don't expect a clean sheet from them now. So Ayling is the bench for now. Johnson is another pick I've gone for in the defense. He's valued at 4.4 million. Now, 4 million defenders, 4 million players as such in Premier League is like a gem. If they start for the team, it's brilliant. And Johnson, from all the rumors I'm seeing now, Johnson is a potential starter for West Ham. Again, I will be looking closer to what they're doing in the preseason. Maybe Johnson, if I feel Johnson is not starting, I might still have him at 4 million because he's a potential starter. So because the best 4 million player who is pretty much guaranteed as starter is the Ferguson, I believe his name is, from Crystal Palace. But he is currently injured. So he would come back in game week 4 or 5. So I would bring, if Johnson I feel is not starting for the first 4 or 5 game weeks and Ferguson is fit, then that will be the transfer I'm making. Because I don't expect to start a 4 million defender week in, week out. So him sitting on third bench will give me some value also. Then in the midfield, that's the big point. The big players there. I have gone for Salah and Aubameyang. Now, as of today, Salah, as I mentioned earlier, he's the main player, or he has been the main player for the last 3 seasons. So I've gone for Salah because I expect returns from him. Liverpool is attacking team, so Salah is my player for the first game week. And I think I would also choose Salah as my captain. So I'm still tossing up between Salah and Aubameyang. So one of them to be my captain. I haven't decided who my captain is. It'll be a toss up till the deadline of the first game week, I think. Anyways, Aubameyang, again, I just want to mention he was a forward last year, but now he's classified as a midfielder. So he is again extremely good value for money, and Arsenal attacks go through Aubameyang. So I would stick on with Aubameyang, a very good player. Similarly, I have Son in my team, who I find is a good value for money for Spurs. They are not a very attacking team under Mourinho, I would have to say. But again, when they do attack, Kane and Son are the two sources for attack for Spurs. And Kane is slightly more highly priced. So I find Son to be more the value for money in Spurs team. So I've kept Son. I have gone for a cheap midfielder and sent Alex Maxim here. Alan Saint Maxim. That's a player I am still pondering about. There are other options. I will put some other options in the description or in the comment section, because maybe I'm still pondering about. But he did play well during the post COVID break or towards the last part of the season last year, and so I feel that he might be a good option. And Newcastle has decent fixtures, so I've gone for him. Anyways, coming to the attack line, that is very interesting. First thing, Werner. Werner, for me, for now, looks like a player you should bank on. I think no matter what team I choose, I think I will have Werner in the team, because Chelsea is looking as a very good attacking team. Lampard plays a style which is pro-attacking, and Werner will be at the forefront of the attack. So I feel Werner to be there, and he is valued at, I think, 9.5. So 9.5 is a very good value for money. So I expect him to give a lot of returns. So I have Werner in my team. The other two forwards I'm starting are Mitrovic and Adams. These you can call as gambles, but I have justification for them, and I feel them good value for money. I'll tell you why. So Adams at 6 million, since the lockdown, he has actually been playing really well, and he's been starting, because before that he was not a starter, and that is one of the down points of Adams. But since lockdown, he has been starting for Southampton, and Southampton as a team itself has been looking better. So for me, Adams at 6 million is a good value for money. And when I look at the numbers, his actual numbers since lockdown is similar to Ings, who is valued at 2 million higher. So for me, Adams at 6 million is a good value for money. And I also heard that he scored in the recent preseason match also. So for me, Adams is a good option to have at 6 million. Mitrovic, another player, he plays for Fulham. Again, he's valued at 6 million. I've gone for him because I read, I was just looking at championship stats, and I see that Mitrovic contributes to a lot of attacking returns for Fulham. Just to give you numbers, 46% of all the attacking returns of Fulham go through Mitrovic. That's incredible for one player to have 46% of all the attacking returns. Yes, Fulham might not be the most attacking team, but I feel Mitrovic can be one of those players who give you a lot of points. So this is where I have taken my team. The bench, I have goalkeepers. I will give these are players I feel are good value. One thing I want to mention is that I do have 2 million in my bank. So I have 2 million in my bank. I have not used it. I can upgrade some players in this, but I've kept that 2 million in the bank for now. Maybe I might upgrade, but for now I'm keeping that because, as you can see in the team, I do not have any Manchester City or Manchester United players. The reason is because they are blanking in the first game week. They will not play the first game week because of Europa League and Champions League they played, so they have 1 month rest. So they are not playing the first game week. So I am keeping the 2 million in case one of my big players do not play well in the first 2 game weeks, then I have an option to switch them to the City or the United players. So that is where I'm looking. That's why I'm keeping the 2 million in the bank now. Maybe I might change my strategy. I don't know what's going to happen, but for now, this is my team, and I'll go forward with this. Okay, thank you, Ashak. So that's pretty much my team. I hope it's clear.
Interesting. From what you have kind of said, I think Aubameyang is the only person who's like a must-have. You can't drop him. The kind of form that he has been playing recently, and if he's listed as a midfielder, there's a lot of goals coming. The problem here is I am also still waiting for the transfers. There are more transfers that are happening. There are more new players happening, especially in a club like Leeds United. Some of the transfers that they have made have, made me really interesting. And I think you might get a low price, good return of investment kind of a player in Leeds United. In my intuition. And to help people like me who are not very familiar with the Premier League players, I think a few sample teams, if you can make a few sample teams, that also will be good. You have explained, how to take some players out, and how will KDB or some Manchester City or Manchester United players will get in, and how you can, you have kept money in the bank to get them in, and those kind of changes are possible, you have explained. But if in a little bit more of, different kind of lineups that are possible, that would be good. Anyway, we had an FPL episode before, but that was just to warm up everyone before, everyone after the COVID break, people, lost the touch of FPL. So just to warm up people. But I think here right now, Rohit really has done a good job. This can be a good listen for the beginners, and they can get into, you can just listen to these basics and start playing FPL. Anyway, feel free to ask any questions if you have. Share this video with everyone. Comment if you have any questions. And as usual, if you like our content, please like the video and subscribe to our channel to get more content like this. That's all from us. Until next time, stay safe.